Hey guys, welcome to the Dad Smart podcast. I'm Jesse and I'm here with Josh. Happy New Year, it's 2026. First episode that we're recording of the new year, and we're just going to kind of chat about the new year. Maybe some things that worked for us this last year, some things that didn't work out for us. Hope you enjoy the episode. I don't know about you, Josh. I'm not really like a New Year's resolution. I have in the past been a New Year's resolution person.
We have been.
We together have been.
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean.
This is kind of where I'm getting to.
Oh.
Nowadays, I feel like I'm more like practical, like routines or practical ways of life is almost how I'm kind of like trying to shift instead of like a checklist, you know. But so I thought it would be fun to just kind of talk about maybe some new routines where thinking maybe would be a better direction, or something that might work better than something that might work better in 2026 that maybe turned out not to work as well in 2025. Also, you and I have spent many New Years together in the past.
Yeah, we have.
Unfortunately, not as many in recent years since we don't live in the state anymore. But we probably did, I don't know, 6 or...
It's a good run.
6 years of New Year's together.
Mainly before kids.
This was pre-kids.
Yeah, pre-kids.
There was a couple.
There was
a
a
couple
few
years. I remember Artie laying on the floor, I think, maybe for one of them.
Probably Ollie. He would just lay on my chest.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
But New Year's now is so different than when it was pre-kids. Yeah. We hung out for a couple hours. We watched the Y2K ball drop on YouTube, which was very grainy and pixelated.
The Y2K?
Yeah, we just found it, watched it. I was actually in Sydney Harbour in Australia.
Oh, you were the first.
I was, first one too. Like, if anything's going to happen, let's see what happens in Australia. If we stop hearing from Jesse, then we know something's happened.
Oh, good.
So that was pretty exciting. But we did New Year's at our same friend's house last year, and that was the first year we did that. We watched the Y2K one, and so we just pulled it out again this year. And
that's funny.
The kids just counted down and cheered, and we were in the car driving home by 8:30. It was the best.
Okay.
But it's way different.
Oh, I see. You did an 8:30 midnight countdown.
we did it at like 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It was a countdown at 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
You do a countdown with the kids.
Yeah, the kids get to see it. There was no Ryan Seacrest, I don't think, at that time, so they missed out on that. But other than that, it's kind of a fun vibe. So we've done that the last 2 years.
Oh, I feel like I'm missing out on that. That's such a great idea.
Just find one on YouTube and do it.
No, just the idea of like doing a countdown like at 8 p.m. and then just start celebrating the new year, you know, before you go to bed. I don't know.
One of these years we'll do a New Year's again together.
Yeah, we will.
Emily was always so great at a little rolled up scroll of paper or something. We would pull out from last year what we wrote down and see what we accomplished and didn't accomplish, and
those have to be rolling around here somewhere in my house.
I feel like there's a couple of those with my New Year's resolutions from 2014, 2015.
I do like to journal about the new year, usually after it starts, but I haven't been doing a lot of lately. Have not really done a lot of big like New Year's like resolutions or goals. We used to do goals and resolutions, because they're kind of different. But no, I haven't really been doing a lot of that. There's just been a lot changing. I feel like this 2025 was a big year of change for me. I don't think I want My resolution would be like find some consistency in my life.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
Or do less stuff. Or You know, I feel like the reality when you're a parent of the things that you can physically have time to do
Mm.
is getting less and less every year. So the idea of adding something like whatever it is, I want to go run around the lake more this year or whatever,
Yeah.
like you might have to settle for a jog on the sidewalk because you only have 15 minutes and you can't drive to whatever.
Yeah. I think my resolution is I want to continue to simplify my life. I feel like
A
every
lot.
year now it's just like I want less stuff. I want
Mhm.
things to be easier to do.
Mhm.
I want just get more of my time back. 'Cause,
Mhm.
I mean, it's just funny how cluttered everything can feel. Just like not
Mhm.
just stuff, but like your schedule, your life, everything just can feel like so cluttered.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just want to like kind of zone in on the things that are really important and filter out the stuff that can just go away. And I'm kind of a hoarder of things too, so that's not great. But
Well,
yeah.
with that said, is there, well,
Mm.
a little bit of a segue. Elton and I typically will do, before we jump into like resolutions or different routines or different things that we want to shift in the new year, we typically will do like a high fives list from the previous year.
High fives.
Like these were some real high fives.
Ooh.
But with that said, do you have any homeschool or routine or anything like that that you would consider these were high fives in our house, in our
Hmm.
family this last year?
Homeschool high fives. Oh, I like that. Ooh.
And they don't have to be huge. I mean, like for us, big high five was just starting off first grade with
Mm.
Navy,
Mm-hmm.
way more intentionally than kindergarten,
Mm.
and settling into a routine, settling into just seeing him grow and
Mm-hmm.
seeing him figure out what doing school looks like. This is really his real first year. And so that was a huge high five. And
Mm.
also, when you start to see how your kid learns and you start seeing your kid like grasping things, you're like, like those are high fives. Also, one
Mm-hmm.
more high five for me when we've started driving just around town as a family, and Navy's reading road signs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just such a little thing, but it's so heartwarming and so like, yeah, we're doing it. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's learning. That's been kind of a big one this last year for
Yeah.
us.
Those are great. High five moment this last year. Because it was the first year, we have a third grader and a first grader. You know, there's obviously, they have dedicated things they're learning. They're at different grade levels, 2 years apart like that. But there have been a few different things that we get to do together, and those have been very fun to do together. And so for history, we've been doing, part of it has been Story of the World, and we listen to it audiobook style through our Yodo player. We love using our Yodo player for school whenever we can. And so we've loaded up, we've purchased the audiobook versions of Story of the World. There's 4 volumes, and we are on volume 2. But we pop that card in, and we listen to Story of the World together. And it comes with like coloring pages that go along with the different sections that you learn about. And so we'll kind of color and listen to history. It's really fun getting to talk
Hmm.
about history and do it. So doing like family lessons together. I know
Yeah.
like there's a lot of talk about that, especially with homeschool and families, is those subjects you get to do together, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so we're getting to experience that a little bit, and it's actually really special. I think anytime you can do something like that, it's quite fun. Because, like, with math, there are very different levels of math,
Yeah.
and even reading. But I think in a year or two, I think the gap will kind of close a bit. I think Artie will kind of close that gap with, just because he'll be able to read really well and
Yeah.
be able to, comprehend things. And so I think there'll be more opportunity across more subjects to just do things together. But it has been it's really fun doing that. It's a high five.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. Yesterday, this is the opposite of a high five. This was a low five. And then you can continue. But I tried. Marjorie was laying on the floor. Holland was sitting across the table. We're starting to work on writing his name. He's 3. And then Navy was doing school. And I was trying to give Alta a couple hours in the studio to work on a project. And it was not happening. Like, Holland is at the age that he's like, he just needs so much attention, and Navy can't focus because Holland is distracted, and then Navy's distracted, and it all kind of went downhill from there. So, that being said, I'm excited for the time when they're both a little bit older and we can do some subjects together. We also started Story of the World because you told me about it, and the boys did get Yoda players for Christmas this year. So
Fun.
that's been really fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So we've liked doing that. Is there anything now, moving on from high fives, that you're like, we got to change that this year, or let's try something different? Anything like that moving forward?
Got to change it.
But the idea of taking something away versus adding something, in the new year, I think is also an important thing to be able to wrestle with, just personally as well, But I'm convinced it probably translates into the way we're parenting and the way that we're helping our kids learn.
I kind of live my life with always wanting to improve upon whatever I did last. So if I tried something, the next time I do it, I would like to do it better. Everything's really gradual. I think there's not like a lot of huge shifts. It's like, okay, that was a failure, so I need to do the opposite this next time. It's always minor adjustments kind of going after. I think it's because, we early on talked about we kind of know what we want out of this. We know why we want to homeschool. So, and we identified things about our home and our family life that are important to us. And so we're keeping that at our core. So everything we do just kind of revolves around that. And the way we approach school is just an expression of who we are and our interests. And so everything just kind of like shifts organically as it needs more space or more time.
Yeah.
One of the things that was maybe, it wasn't like a low five, but a change. Here's an example of a shift that happened for me. At the beginning of the year, I was, with the subjects that I was doing, I was using a timer a lot for, okay, we're going to do this for 15 minutes. And I would set a timer, and we're just, all right, we're going to get through it, and like, oh, my hand hurts, or I can't write anymore. It's like, you could do a little bit more, right? Just a little, like, so you're just trying to like hit the time for what reason? I don't know. It's just because, well, we should just at least do 15 minutes, right? And then I started to shift away from that. 2 reasons. One, our timer broke, so we didn't have a timer anymore. It dropped on the floor and broke.
Probably because you got frustrated in a moment and threw it across the room.
No, the kids probably sabotaged it. They hated it. No, the timer was great. It was one of those timers. What is it called? Ooh, I send it to you before? I love it. It's an analog thing.
Like you crank it and then it ticks down kind of thing?
And it's like, it shows like a red wheel of how much time you have left. It's the time
Okay.
timer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time timer. They're great. There's like, it's a really nice way of visualizing how much time you have. So I was using that a lot, and it worked. I think the kids, they actually really liked it. They liked to know how much time we have left to do this exercise. But then after it broke, I also then like heard a little bit of wisdom about like what's the purpose of doing all of the exercises and practice anyway. It's to learn a skill. And you know, if their hand is cramping up or they're not feeling good today, or like what's the point of like we have to do the time, you know,
Yeah.
versus I guess the bit of wisdom I learned is like all of the exercises and the practice that we do in our books or whatever is to learn a skill, and the kids are going to learn the skill when it sinks in and they soak it up, and then they can, and then once they've done it enough, they can use that skill in their schooling and in their life. And then, so like that bit of wisdom was like, oh, okay. So once they've done it, because sometimes we'll go, like, for example, we're doing typing. We have a great curriculum that we use. So we have their keyboards, and they have their little mouse, and it's connected to an iPad for each of them. And it's keyboarding without tears is the thing that we use. And it's all pretty much like self-directed, and it kind of takes them through a whole thing of learning the home row and, you know, pressing all the keys and all the practices and stuff, and how to use their mouse and click. And sometimes like 5 minutes and they're like, oh, my fingers hurt. But then other days they are energized and they want to get through as much as they can. You know, like, oh, because like at the end, it's almost like, it looks like a Candyland, like the board game almost, of like a path, and it kind of colors in every step that they, you know, that they get through when they do all their exercises. So they want to finish this thing. And so some days they will stay on it for a very long time. And so when I saw that some, you know, it all will average out in the end. But why force skill building and learning, you know, that practice when maybe 5 minutes was enough for today? Because the next time we pull it out, they're going to want to not stop for 30 minutes and go, you know, and like it's really going to sink in, and they're going to get a lot of that. So that was like a shift from, it was like, not a high five moment, but it turned into finding what our high five was, which was that. But we do need a new timer because we do really actually like using it for different things. So
I'm gonna try using the timer this week, not in a religious way, but I think you're right. I think it would help, because I mean I get those questions from Navy all the time, like how much longer do we have? You know, those kind of things. But what you said about being flexible with how long you're doing things, because you're right, it will even out over the course of the year. And I think probably some parents need to just be able to give themselves the permission and freedom to realize, like, it's going to level out, and not even from just a numbers perspective, but from a perspective of my kid is going to learn this when he's ready to learn it. And I think that's an important lesson.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that. Get a time. Do you have a time timer or something like that that's visual?
We have one that sits on the piano, because Navy has been doing piano lessons this year, and so he's got Alta's been setting that for 15 minutes for him to practice. So we'll probably just pull that one.
Is it the same kind, or is it like a digital one?
No, it's like a little...
Oh, like that. Yeah, like
it's like
a kitchen timer, kind of.
Yeah, it's probably out of focus.
Click, 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 click.
You know.
I do like that sound of the click.
Navy has a couple like stickers that, you know, he has to... Why is it still ticking?
Well, they do that.
It's like winding down.
That just
even
reminds
after
me
it's
of
zero.
my grandma's house. She always had a a timer like that. That sound.
Yeah, as far as changes for us, and kind of circling back to the idea of being flexible, I think we just lifestyle wise, right now compared to 3 months ago, our lives are completely different. We finished a home renovation and sold the house, and now we have a third kid, and we have two boys, and we're trying to be intentional with one-on-one attention and focus on each of them. And it's not just as easy now to be like, I'll watch the boys and you can work. It's more like someone needs to help Navy focus on and do school, but we're not just going to put Holland in front of the TV so we can work. So it's more like we're shifting our strategy of like, okay, this honestly was the first week of a new thing that we're trying of.
Yeah.
I get this full day, Elta gets this full day. We split some afternoons. We're working in the evening sometimes. I'm getting up really early. But we're not planning on getting any real work done between the two of us before noon because we want to focus on them. We want to do school. We want Holland to have attention as well. So other than those 2 full days that each of us get days, like there's 3 days a week that not much work's happening before noon, and we are figuring out how to fill those hours in other ways, And so for us, that's a shift. It is a homeschool shift, but it's also a family shift. But that's also a big high five and win of homeschooling, is that we have the flexibility to shift and change. And if a job situation needs to change, if someone needs to pick up a part-time job, like we figure out how to do school, or if someone's job changes or whatever, like we have that flexibility. And even as like we're trying to think through, we'd love to go on a trip this summer and trying to plan that, and thinking through or not having to plan around a school schedule is a big win. And so there's many things along the way that we're like, this is a win, this is a win, this is a win, this is a sacrifice, this is a sacrifice, this is a sacrifice. I think as we're slowly processing all of this, like homeschooling for us, and for me especially, I'm realizing it's filled with a lot of wins and it's filled with a lot of sacrifices. But I know that in 10 years, I'm not going to wish that I spent more time at work. But the other side of that coin, I definitely in 10 years could wish that I had spent more time with my kids. And so trying to be okay with the season that we're in and letting that dictate, just like you said, we know what we want, we know what's important for our family, letting those things shift the things that we're shifting, So I think recognizing the high fives and recognizing the things that are working well is important, and also recognizing the things that need to change is important. But the lens and the glasses we're viewing both of those through is the ultimate why that we've talked about already a couple episodes ago. Like, why are we doing this? And if we don't have that in our perspective all the time, it'll be easy for us to just start checking off the timer. Hour and a half here, another hour there, when we actually are realizing that that's not what it's about. Like you were just saying, when you're actually getting into it, and you can get lost in a project or lost in a subject or whatever, those are the moments. But I think being open and flexible is an important thing. So I'm trying to lean into that. We're trying to lean into that this year. And we definitely don't have it together for sure, but we're learning as we go. So
for 2026, I really like what you just said there. You're right. I don't regret any of the time that I get to spend with them, that I get to teach them, that I get to take Ollie to hockey practice. Like, I don't regret any of those times. This is the time to try to get as much of that as we can. So I'm glad we're being thoughtful about it. We're thinking about it. We're talking about it. We're encouraging each other to be thoughtful about that. Do you have any more high fives? I maybe got one more.
Do it. Wrap us up.
Okay, so my last high five, actually, I brought as a show and tell. But this high five, it's been pretty great. So like I said, I've been doing our English and language arts with the boys. That's been one of my subjects I've been excited to do. And so part of that was teaching them how to read. It's kind of
It's a pretty big part.
It's a pretty big part of it. Ollie, learned to read, and now he's reading to learn. I like that phrase. I don't know who came up with it, but I like that.
Learn to read so you can read to learn.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Artie is now kind of getting to the tail end of the learning to read part. But I love really good books, and I like books that teach well, regardless of what it is. You know this, Jesse, from the time of us learning to buy a house. Our first houses.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one book?
Yeah, you had like a... Yes, I remember that book.
I went to Barnes & Noble. I grabbed like a stack of books on like how to buy your first home. And I just sat down. I would read the first couple pages. Nope. Next one. Nope. Nope. Because like if they would use like language that you didn't understand, or it was confusing already in the first paragraph, like this is not going to help me learn to do something that I have no bearing on how to do.
Yeah.
So when teaching someone
Teach
how
me
to
like
learn,
I'm a second grader. Yeah.
yeah, but even with that you might start too far advanced. And so like learning to read is like, this is foreign. This is a foreign language, if even the language that you raised learning to speak. So anyway, the book I found, somehow it came to us. I think maybe Emily's mom brought it to us somehow. Is this book. It's called Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And yes, we have it in paperback, and it's been well loved. I think I got this book when Ollie was 2 years old, and I read through most of it, and I just knew this is a great way to teach someone how to read. What it did is it really taught you as a parent how to teach someone how to read as well.
Yeah.
Which is also very important. But what is really annoying sometimes is with some reading curriculums is it just jumps all over the place, like introducing new letters and sounds without it being a part of like a base of something. Anyway, it introduces one thing at a time, and it builds on it really, really well. So I did this book with Ollie, and he's a great reader now. It's awesome to see him just reading. But we went through it with him. It took, we would, I wouldn't say we did like a full lesson every single time, because some of it would be, it's a lot. It's almost like we break a lesson up into two different, times.
Yeah.
So it's like 200 lessons really. But it's been really, really good. So Artie is on lesson number 74. Can you tell I'm excited? The font typically looks like this. It has like the lines above the long vowels, and then the letters you don't say are written a little bit smaller. Well, it's just changing into now like normal fonts where the story is written like you would see in a book. So, so yeah, today our lesson, he was like, "Ooh, this is tough." It's like, yeah, you just gotta, now your brain is smart. You'll be able to get it, but it's not gonna give you those little tricks anymore. So, but he's doing really great with it too, and he feels so proud of himself to be able to do it, and to he feels smart. This is a really great book.
That's great.
It's not the only thing we do, but And what's funny is we're in lesson 74, and in this book, they don't actually go through like the letters of the alphabet until, what was it? It was lesson 73. It's like, okay, now let's
Wow.
actually say all the letters of the alphabet, which seems crazy, but the letters of the alphabet are really confusing if you're trying to use them, in a word to read a sentence, because they don't. The name of the letter isn't necessarily the sound of the letter makes. So,
Yeah.
so it was kind of funny, like not really for Arthur to not. Okay, let's do the ABC song. So the alphabet. What's the point of knowing the alphabet?
Yeah.
So for the longest time, he would see the letter A and would say ah, because they would in the book they're a lot of times using the short sound of A,
Yeah.
or he wouldn't say the name of the letter. He would say the sound of the letter, which is actually a really smart way of them just associating that symbol with a sound, as they're trying to figure out this code that is our language.
Yeah.
So,
That's great.
But he, by the time we got to that, he could say the whole alphabet. I mean, of course he's learned it because he's exposed to it everywhere else. But it wasn't like, all right, English is learning our alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It doesn't mean anything. So anyway, it was. I liked it. It was a good book.
You told us about that. I like how it approaches it a lot. We were trying to use it in the thick of kindergarten, which was not very structured. And so just kind of jumping into that when Navy wasn't even really into a consistent, let's sit down and learn school. It worked well for a while. And then we've kind of jumped back to it from time to time for some other lessons. So we didn't really go through it from start to finish, but I think we probably will with Holland. But he's a great reader now, but we will reference back to some of those things. Like Alta started going back through some of those earlier ones. And then also the one we're using kind of does a pretty good job too. But yeah, I really like the way that it teaches how to, especially what you said, teaches the parents how to teach how to read.
Yeah.
Like I remember reading that section at the beginning of the book, helping explain like this. I'm like, man, that's an important thing that you don't think about. We're learning just as much as they are. So
yeah, I am excited to finish this book and have Arthur graduate from this book soon. Because we started with Arthur. We started it in kindergarten and didn't finish it. And then I was like, okay, are we gonna like take off the whole summer and not? I was like, maybe I should at least keep it going. I should probably keep it going through the summer. Otherwise, he'll probably forget and we'll have to start over. He'll be discouraged. And then, but we didn't. We just took the summer off. Started his first grade year. We just picked back up where we left off, the last like story part that he read. It's like, okay, so Artie, we took the summer off, so this might be challenging at first. You might feel like you've forgotten it, but I'll tell you what, all of the stuff that you learned last year, it's stuck up there somewhere, and we just gotta it's just gotta find it. It's gotta your brain's searching for all that stuff. So don't worry, it's gonna come back to you. And sure enough, within a week, he had regained everything that he had pretty much learned from where he left off. So
that's awesome.
Even in the midst of taking a break in it. And so now, he'll be done with this pretty soon. And that's really exciting. So high five, a preemptive high five on teaching your child to read in 100 Easy Lessons.
Oh, yeah.
Part 2.
Nice. Well, I love that we ended off 2025 with some high fives and maybe have some shifts, or maybe have just some things that we're kind of sticking out and sticking to for 2026. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Here's the 2026. Let's do it.
Yeah. Cheers.
Clink. All right. Ooh.
An old coffee mug from 3 hours ago. No, from
Sipping it down.
10 hours ago.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jesse. Good seeing you.
Yeah. See you on the next one. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you, man.